Hey, it's OG Math Mosley, and today we're going to be looking at the second part of how to use Table A, which involves finding a z-score or a z-value based on a provided percentile or proportion under the curve. All right, so let's take a look at our examples. All right, so here we go. In this set of examples here, we're going to be using Table A to find the value of z from the standard normal distribution. And we've got some blank standard normal curves over here, so we can use them for reference. All right, that satisfies each of the following conditions. Right? First one here, the 10th percentile. All right, well, here's what we know. The 10th percentile is the same as a proportion under the curve, 0.10, right? The 10th percentile is where 10% of my observations are less than that point, wherever the 10th percentile is. Whatever value z goes there. So we're looking at 0.10 as our reference for the standard normal curve. All right. Now, we can't use this curve yet, but I can use my Table A. Now, knowing that we're at the 10th percentile allows me to know that I am to the left or in the negative standard deviations on my normal curve, all right? Because the 50th percentile is the mean. Anything below that is negative standard deviations. 10th percentile is below that. So I'm going to find the closest number I can to 0.10 in all these numbers here within my negative standard deviations. I'm going to start just by going down the left here, and I hit 0.01, 0.1, all right, that's good. So let's see, do I hit 0.1 somewhere closer? Here we go. All right, here's where we switch over. We have 0.1003 and 0.985. These are the closest numbers to 0.10. I need to choose the one that is absolutely the closest to 0.10. All right, so to do that, I'm essentially going to find the distance from 0.1 to these numbers. So I'm going to say 0.1003, this one here, minus 0.1, and I get 0.0003. Now I'm going to take 0.1, subtract 0.0985, and I get 0.0015. All right, based on that, this number is farther away from 0.1, right? Because 0.1003 was only 0.0003 away. So I'm going to use 0.1003. That's the closest I can get using Table A. Right? So this is the one that wins, so to say. It is closest to the number I'm looking for. So now that we have that, we're going to follow this back to the z-score. And we go up, we're going to use 0.08. We're going to add that to negative 1.2, which results in negative 1.28. So that's the result we're looking for. Z equal to negative 1.28. All right. So the 10th percentile is at negative 1.28. means that 10% of our observations are less than negative 1.28. All right, let's look at example number 2. 34% of all observations are greater than Z. All right, so I'm looking for somewhere on this table, or on this graph, that represents 38% being greater than that Z value. I know that from the mean, I get 50% greater, 50% less, right? From one standard deviation, right here, because 68% is in between here, that means I have 32% split. There's 16% greater than one standard deviation here, the score of 1. So I'm between 0 and 1. Just for reference, we're trying to give an idea of where this might be. I'm going to guess it's probably around like 0.3. I don't know, guessing. We'll figure it out. So again, 34% of all observations are greater than Z. That means, you have to be careful, 66%, right, are less than Z. Right? This is what we need. So we're going to look for .66 on table A. Right? I want this guy. I want to know if I find what's less than, it's going to tell me by default what portion is greater than as well. So again, 66 percentile is a positive Z-score. So we look at my positive values. I'm going to look for the thing closest to 0.66. We're going to hit 0.6591, 0.6628. Probably the two closest I can get. So again, grab my calculator. All right, and I'm going to say 0.66 minus 0.6591. It's 0.0009. I'm going to say 0.6628 minus 0.66. That's 0.0028, which means this is closer. So I'm going to use 0.6591 as my result. It is closer to the value I want. Again, we trace this. We get 0.01 plus 0.4, which gives us a Z of 0.41. That is our result. Z equals 0.41. Right? Excellent. 63rd percentile for our next example here. That means I want to find the Z that goes along with 63% of my scores being less than that value. All right? So I need to find 0.63 on table A. Again, that's going to be positive Z. We'll go back to our positive Z scores and get as close to 0.63 as I can. We just had 0.66 here, 0.6293, 0.6331. I can see right away that this is going to be closer. Right? This is 0.007 away. This is 0.031 away. This guy's closer. Right? So I'm going to use this one, 0.6293. That gives me 0.03, going along with 0.3, which leaves me to a score of 0.33 when I add those up. So we get a Z equal to 0.33. Right? And again, we're paying attention to whether we're doing greater than or less than. When we're given a percentile, that implies a less than proportion that we're looking for. Our last example here, number 4, 75% of all observations are greater than z. Right, so that puts us on the left-hand side of the mean, right? To get 75%, right? 50% greater than. We're gonna have somewhere between 0 and 2. It might be a little less. I don't know, but we know we're going to be somewhere around here for our proportion, right? And again, the reason we're doing this is so that we're looking at the right part of table A. I need to know if I'm looking at negative z's or positive z's. That's the reason. I got to figure out where I'm at on the here first. I'm going to be in negative z territory, so I got to get that part of my table. And I want 75%, which means I need to look for 0.25, because that means 25% is less than z, right? So table A. All right, so again, looking here, I'm looking for 0.25, 0.24. Here we go. All right, here's where we hit that transition spot. We got 0.2514, 0.2483. All right, this is 0.0014 away. This is 0.017 away. So this guy's closer. So again, we'll use the one that is closest to the value we're looking for, which is 0.25. So this one, when we follow it back up, we get 0.07 plus, to the left here, negative 0.6, which gives us a score of negative 0.67. So we get z is equal to negative 0.67. Right? And that is how you use table A to find the z-score that goes along with a given percentile or percentage of observations. Right. Once again, if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments or send me an email. Otherwise, we'll see you on the next one. Take care.